Hey everybody, and welcome to the tastebetter.com video newsletter for Monday, February 8th, 2010. Really excited today to have you guys here, and because this is going to be an awesome week. I'm really excited about today, because it's the only Monday I'm going to have all week, and I'm really going to make it count. I've got this whole week mapped out, and it's just going to automatically happen because it's today, Monday. I mean, it's the day most people dread, but I've got this master plan. I'm really excited. And what about you guys? Did you wake up excited this morning? Did you wake up and say, I want to just kick it. I want to crush it. Today is the day. And if not, today, I hope today's newsletter is going to help with tomorrow. I was going to say, let's wake up excited together, but that doesn't sound right, especially when you say it out loud, because waking up together, I'm a family man now, all right? That's all I'm going to say. This week, we want to welcome our new subscribers to the email version of the newsletter, Susie, Ashley, and Charlotte. This is for the email version that goes out every Monday at 2 p.m. If you'd like to get that to your inbox, it's got everything we talk about in the video version and a little bit more because we don't have a 10-minute limit. tastebetter.com/newsletter, as you see in the bottom right of all these slides in the video. This week, we are going to talk about how to build unbreakable habits. I've got some tricks and tips on here that are going to make you unstoppable and really finally get you to commit to these things that you feel like you've always wanted to do but haven't been able to get it into a regular practice. And then we're going to do a little news about ourselves that I'm leaving blank, and then we'll talk about what's coming up this week on the Better Network and wind things up. So, unbreakable habits. This came from office hours last week, where we go live into the newsletter. It's like a video version like this, except it's actually my face talking, and we've got a live chat, and we do it on Thursdays. If you want to go to tastebetter.com/office-hours, you can find out more about that. We're talking about this subject just briefly, and I decided to dive in deep this week. And also today on Taste Better, I gave a post on how to eat more raw fruits and vegetables. So between the two of those things, this ties together nicely. Because I mentioned this last week in office hours, that you are leaking self-discipline like a sieve. Honestly, every bit of stress, every demand you place on your body. I was citing a study last week about just something as simple as remembering a 7-digit number. That makes it harder and harder for you to commit to doing things you know are good for you, but they take a little bit of effort. And you're just going to take the easy way out because your self-discipline is shot. And, in that context, is it any wonder that it's so hard to, start a workout program? Day one's easy, you just go and do it, but, then you're a little sore from all those muscles you're not used to using, that stress on your body, and all of a sudden, lacing up those shoes gets a whole lot harder. And more likely, it doesn't actually get harder to go to the gym, but there's a million of other fun and easy activities that come into your brain that just lure you away, and you just don't get to it. That's just how it works. That's how we're wired up, and understanding that is one of the first steps to beating it and just becoming more awesome and getting better and meeting our potential. Now, the way that you get around this is to develop a habit. But you have to go deeper than that, because you have to make this a part of who you are. As habits, we break habits all the time, right? You got to make it a regular routine, whatever it is you're trying to do. The gym is just an easy example, but later on I talk about taking a vitamin pill. Just making it a routine. I don't want to be that word guy because I do this a lot, but I don't like the word routine. Routine is a boring word. Routine is dull. Routine is not fun. Instead, I want you to start rituals. Because rituals aren't routine. Rituals are sacred. You have to complete them or you're going to feel like something's missing. In your brain, they quickly change from a thing you should probably do to something you absolutely have to accomplish. Rituals can be big actions or small ones. If you take a look at a sporting event, you'll probably find several athletes each time doing these tiny little rituals that help them focus on their next action. Those don't take any time at all. But on the other hand, your ritual might be that example of going to the gym, which can take a much larger chunk of time. Or maybe you want to start meditation. That's a big block of time, depending on how you do it. It can just be as little as a minute if you want, but if you want to be committing to a half-hour meditation or longer, that's a big chunk of your day. I practice a ton of rituals personally, and we're going to talk about a few of those, but they range from things like taking a vitamin supplement or flossing my teeth to more elaborate rituals like crafting these newsletters and the posts that I put on Taste Better and the other sites in the Better Network. They're rituals to me, and if I don't set things up properly, they just wouldn't get done. So, for a ritual to work and become ingrained into your identity, you need to do two things. You have to make it as easy as possible to start each time, and you have to create a positive feedback cycle to keep it going. And starting a ritual activity requires that it's easy, and I call that removing the friction. And it also has to have a trigger to get you started. And reducing friction is simply a matter of figuring out what's stopping you and fixing it. For example, in today's post about eating raw fruits and vegetables, I describe a whole different ritual. But if you practice that one, you can easily practice the ritual of, for example, snacking on raw fruit and vegetables when you're watching TV. Going to the gym might be easier if you pre-stock your gym bag with everything you need and put it in front of the door where you can't not see it on your way out. If you want to drink a glass of water as soon as you wake up, because you're a bit dehydrated on waking because you've gone several hours without drinking, putting a glass right next to a sink, like in the bathroom, possibly already full of water, that makes that super easy. And your friction reducers can even form the basis for triggers. Now, a trigger is a reminder, it's often physical, that you need to start your ritual. For example, I take a vitamin pill at night, and I'm also one of those people that sometimes grinds his teeth while he sleeps. So I already had a ritual of putting in my bite plate thingy before I go to bed. But now I put the vitamin bottle right next to that thing so that I can't not see it when I'm reaching for the plate, and that's also my cue to down a pill. I've got lots of triggers in my life. Now, for example, before I start to cook, I have to do any dishes that are in the sink and clean off the counter. It's really hard for me to cook without doing that first, and that's because I set up a start to cook as the trigger for my clean the kitchen ritual. And yeah, I clean as I go when I cook too, so the kitchen isn't a mess all the time except for when I'm not using it or about to use it. The next piece of the ritual puzzle is the positive feedback loop. This is what makes you want to do the ritual again. Now, and a lot of times the ritual is its own feedback, like a clean kitchen or a healthy post-workout glow. But sometimes, if you're trying to do something you don't really enjoy, for example, you're trying to study a certain subject and it's really boring, and the payoff, like a certification that'll land you a better job, is way in the future, consider adding a small but healthy reward to your efforts. People always think of food or spending money when they think of rewards, but it can be simple as a 10-minute YouTube break or some kind of guilty pleasure that you save specifically for that purpose. You save it as your reward. And once you start looking at habits as rituals, you can use these same ideas to eliminate the bad habits or rituals from your life. What are the triggers you've subconsciously placed to start these less desirable things? And can you change those triggers? Can you add some friction to the habit so it's less convenient to get started? Or can you introduce a brand new ritual like the fruits instead of chips one I suggested in Monday's post on Taste Better? So as I said earlier, ritual is a sacred thing, but it doesn't have to be complicated. By picking your triggers, reducing the friction, and instilling the reward, a ritual can be a powerful tool for automating all kinds of practices in your constantly improving life. So give that a thought, and if you have any feedback on that for me, you can send me a note. If you're on YouTube, you can just send a note to me directly. You can go to jason@tastebetter.com, tastebetter.com/contact. Lots of ways to reach me. Now, very quickly, this space left blank. I just want to let you guys know I'm simplifying the newsletter. In the past, we did a big lesson and a smaller lesson, then some site news and some what's coming up, and then thanks. This week and going forward, we're taking out the smaller lesson. It's too hard to fit it into the video version because YouTube has a 10-minute thing, and it's also distracting it. You get distracted from the main idea, and it makes the newsletter too long. So that is our big announcement this week. We're just shortening the newsletter, but hopefully that's going to make for a simpler and more engaging newsletter and let us dive deeper into the main topic. So, quickly, here's what's coming up on the Better Network of websites this week. As I promised last week, we're moving to a more practical how-to advice on Taste Better. This week, we did that with our post on last week, we talked about how to beat the recipe reruns. This week, it's raw week, so today, as I said, we did how to eat more raw fruits and vegetables. Wednesday, we're going to jump to the world of work and cover the single best and maybe cheapest addition you can add to your lunchbox to ensure a steady supply of fruit at your desk. So I'm looking forward to that. Vegan porn, it's Porncast Week at veganporn.com. So Tuesday we're going to have that out because I know a lot of you people enjoy that. That is our audio podcast. Comes out every other Tuesday, and we've gotten pretty good at being on schedule for that. Barnivore.com, our vegan booze guide, is we're going to make it easier for people to contact their favorite companies to find out what's in their products and then share that with us. And SpawnBetter.com, this week we are talking about vegan parenting groups, how to start one, how to find one, and why it's not necessarily a bad thing if they aren't around. That's at SpawnBetter.com. So thanks so much, guys. I got to wrap this up really, really quick, but this means a lot to me that you're watching it and you've watched this far. And I hope to see you soon, hopefully on office hours this Thursday. If you want to get in touch with me, here's a bunch of different ways to follow what I'm doing and what TasteBetter's doing. And we will see you very soon. Thanks so much.